Say hi, pups. Alright, we are hitting you up from Iowa. Not only is it my first big solo road trip, but I have 2 dogs with me in their crates, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous. But overall, I'm really pleased with how everything went, and I think that could be useful to everybody else. So here's a compilation of all of the tips and tricks that have been recommended to me, as well as some things I figured out on my own that have really made things super easy traveling with dogs. First thing I would say is food. So being prepared with what food you're going to feed your dogs. I usually feed a mixture of raw and dried food, but on this trip I'm doing exclusively dried food just because I don't have cooler space, and also it's just been really convenient staying overnight at hotels and things like that to not have to refrigerate. Enrichment is super key. I can usually do about 1 meal plus a snack in a Kong, and I think that keeps fairly well. Eden destroys things in her crate if she is unhappy, so I have learned to keep her busy. Part of our routine is I'll get out, take the dogs potty, but then I also bring frisbees because I found that's really easy to just find a patch of grass, obviously away from the road, especially if you're stretching your legs at every stop and getting out and actually taking time to do this. I would also say as a driver, not just having stuff for the dogs, but having plenty of snacks for yourself. I have popcorn and chips. This is the best. And just having something to munch on makes a trip go really fast. I've also had some really great podcast recommendations. I personally love the Everyday Dog Trainer if you're into listening about dogs like I am on your trips. I also love the BK Pets podcast, just keeping me informed about something that I'm passionate about, which is health and nutrition for my own body, and then translating that to my dogs. I've also had a couple recommendations for Frenzy Dog Sports, so I have that downloaded and I'm gonna listen to that. You also have to throw in a true crime podcast here and there, so trust me, it keeps you awake and alert. Take care of yourself and just be aware of your surroundings. We're gonna keep driving, and I hope you guys learned something. Probably the best hack that I have been using on this trip is finding enrichment. A lot of people associate the kennel with, oh, they're gonna be destructive, they're just so cramped. And I beg to differ because my girls are so calm. I think because they have this sense of security and comfort, no matter where we go, this is their space. And I really, really pride myself on crate training my dogs and just prioritizing safety. Even though this is a long trip for the dogs to be in the car, I want to make sure that they're not bored, because bored dogs are destructive dogs. So every time we stop at a gas station, I am taking the girls out potty, running them around. I brought frisbees, depending on the gas station, if there's enough room, if it's safe. I know some people worry about, they're gonna have a negative association with the car if all you do is keep them in there all day, and that's very fair. So I like to make sure that I'm taking plenty of stops. I would recommend freezing as much enrichment options as you can. Actually doing a little bit of prep work before the car ride. So getting your topples out, freezing their food inside of the topple, and then wrapping it in tinfoil. I would say you need to feed it to them within the first 3-ish hours of the drive, because things do start to melt pretty quickly. So far, this has been a really great trip, and I chalk it up to the girls just being very well exercised. We're getting out at the rest stops. We are stopping at local state parks for a little walk before we hit the hotel room. And honestly, it's not taking up too much more time as I thought it was. Making these longer trips exciting and fun to do all comes down to preparation. And because I prepare a little bit of extra enrichment for the girls, I prepare to stop every 3 hours and I look at what hiking trails are nearby, or even just taking a walk downtown. If there's a city that you're stopped in, you're like, I've never been here before, take 5 minutes and just walk the dogs around outside. And I think that I'm definitely less nervous about taking solo car rides by myself because I have my dogs, and I know that this sense of security that I feel is because of my preparedness, and also because my dogs enjoy it too, and I hope there'll be many more in the future. Thanks for hanging around. Bye.